Let me ask you a question. What was your first multiplayer game? Multiplayer online, more specifically. So, that was my first multiplayer online game. The game which I kind of played multiplayer first was Duke Nukem 3D. And that was done via dial up. I remember we used to dial between friends. Um, and then there was a service that was produced by BT in the UK where you could dial into and then you could play with 4 or 5 players. So that wasn't online. It was you were playing with multiple other real life people. But for me, my first multiplayer online game was MUDs. Now, I've got Wikipedia stuff here for those who don't know, but a MUD was a multi-user dungeon. It was a text-based game where you kind of like logged onto and you did things. You went like typed in things like north, south, east, west, and this was a truly online multiplayer game. There were real life people. Depending on the mod you went on to, there could be like one other person, or there could be 10, 20, 30 people. I even remember doing some coding on one years ago, so kind of got a little bit of an idea. It was the first network type of code I ever did. And yeah, it was quite an interesting kind of game. And what surprised me is there are still many that are in existence now. And today I actually went on one just to test it out. First time I've actually been on a MUD since about 1997. So just to give you an example, let me just log on to one. So this is the Discworld one, and I'm going to go in as a guest. And let me type in a name. Doesn't really like the characters when you do a backspace. No. And so this is a multi-user dungeon. So I'm going to agree to the terms. And how it looks is very simple. You literally have an area, bit of text. You read it. You say, look, there's some exits of up, north, south, west. So if I wanted to go west, I'll do W or go west. And then I move to the next section. And these types of like who, you can see who's online. And you can see there are 51 mudders on there at the moment. And then you get people coming in and out. Look, so it's quite a very basic compared to kind of the sort of things that you would see these days. But it was my first access to multiplayer games online, and on from there, I kind of went on to play things like Half-Life and Unreal. But yeah, my first experience was playing MUDs, and that's my history. But I'm kind of wondering, what was your history? What did you first play online? What was the first game that you tried online? Were you like me? Then you kind of played something like this, a text-based MUD, or maybe your first games online were things like Half-Life and that type of first-person shooters, or maybe you went into some things like the more graphical-based multi-user dungeons, kind of like World of Warcraft and those type of games. So, what did you go online first? What did you play? Why not leave a comment? Let me know. I mean, it'd be interesting to kind of see the history that you've had. This is my history.